What's up, everyone? How you doing? Brooks Gibbs here. I am live on Facebook. If you want to give me a video call today, you can do so simply by dialing brooksgibbslive.com. Got my hat on today. I'm a little scruff here. I'm quite behind on things, but I added some cool, fun little features to my little video show, and I'm happy to do those today. For example, here's a little quick little hint. Check it out. Oh, that's Mr. Corona. I have a puppet called Corona, and if your kids have any questions about the coronavirus, or if they want to share their feelings about the coronavirus, just let me know. Let's talk to Corona right now, by the way. Let's see if he's available. Hey, how's it going, guys? How are you? My name's Corona, and I really hate I hate all the complaints I'm hearing. Okay, Mr. Corona, thank you for joining me on the call. I was kind of wondering, why now? Why 2020? 2020 was supposed to be an awesome year, don't you think? Yeah, but I think 2020 is going to be the year that everyone will want to forget. My goal was to take the best year of all and ruin it. That's just what I do. You know, I have rights too. Do you know that? I have rights. Use less soap so I can live. Actually, the truth is I invested in toilet paper, and that is why I've created this entire mess. You know, whatever, dude. Corona, we'll talk to you later. We got a lot that we want to know about the future. How long are we going to be quarantined? When is school going to open up again? And you know what? Kids have lots of questions too. So kids, feel free to call if you want to talk to Corona. He'll be happy to answer your questions. And all you got to do is give me a call, brooksgibbslive.com. Also, you know this. If you have any people problems, social problems, anything like that, I'm happy to chat with you. I also want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by the Homeschool Assembly, homeschoolassembly.com. This is a very special program I've made available for free for kids all over the world who are stuck at home and need a good social emotional learning curriculum. You can watch this for absolutely free. Parents are loving it. We have thousands of people signed up. Here is a little sample of what the program is all about. Everybody say, don't get upset. I love my job. I get to help teach students how to get someone to stop being mean. I teach students how to systematically remove mean people from their life legally without any violence. There are 3 reasons why people are mean to you. You can see on the emojis behind me that maybe they're trying to be funny and you're the butt of the joke. They're being mean to you because they want you to get upset. And always, when it comes to humor, someone has to be the butt of the joke. And when you're the butt of the joke, maybe you're not liking that. But the second reason why someone might be mean to you is because they're hurt by you. You did something or said something, and now they're angry with you. They have the desire for revenge. You realize you've got a victim you're dealing with. Maybe the third reason why people are mean to you is because they like to control you. They love to see you suffer. They want to have psychological power over you, and they love doing that. But the same truth for all 3 is don't get upset. Be emotionally resilient. Everybody say resilience. If you're emotionally resilient, if you're mentally tough, if you're cognitively strong, if you have emotional intelligence to know why she's being mean and how to stop her, then she cannot mess with you. That's the Homeschool Assembly, available for free all over the world. Families are downloading those free resources and streaming the School Assembly on demand to bring good social and emotional learning to the home classroom. A lot of kids are homeschooled. Simply go to homeschoolassembly.com and you'll be able to have access to all those resources, which includes not just the 35-minute assembly presentation, but also a 10-part lesson for conflict resolution. And it's such a fantastic free resource. And I've already gotten tons of emails and notes and messages from parents every day. When I wake up, I'll check the chatter in the program, and there will be so many parents each morning just thanking me so much for that program. So make sure you check it out, Homeschool Assembly. Now, if you want to talk to me today on my show today, on this hour, all you have to do is go to any web browser and enter brooksgibbslive.com, and I'll be taking calls, live calls from you. Your kids can ask me anything. And you could even talk to this guy. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Corona. And I'll be taking your calls. You got questions, I've got answers. I'm Corona, the most popular, famous virus in the history of the modern world. I am so powerful. I shut down. You know what? I'll shut him up. That's just ridiculous. I don't really care for that guy. But he is with us today. He's kindly agreed to answer any of our questions about the coronavirus. I think that's pretty awesome. Very, very generous of him to spend his time pausing the multiplication process and having this video call. If you want to talk to Corona or me, help you solve your social problems, your people problems, give me a call, brooksgibbslive.com. When you dial brooksgibbslive.com, of course, you do that on any web browser, you're going to be connected right here to the studio. You can use the browser on your computer, or if you get an Android, you could use the browser on there. It'll be connected right away. If you got an iPhone like I do, it will ask you to download an app called Stage 10. It's really simple to do. But you simply go to your browser and go brooksgibbslive.com, and you'll be with me. So would love to hear how your weekend was. Would love to hear what you guys are doing to pass the time. So give me a call, brooksgibbslive.com. You know, a lot of students are tripping, man. They are not enjoying this whole process. In fact, the irritabilities are at an all-time high, and it is not uncommon for me to get an email or to do a quick little news interview or a mom blog interview. I'm doing these all the time where they're asking, how can we help our kids calm the heck down? And my advice is always to raise their frustration tolerance. Raise their frustration tolerance. What does that mean? That means when you have an easier time being patient, not getting upset, and you're not being irritable, stop it, just, like that's irritability. And what we want to do is raise the frustration tolerance, expand their capacity to not be irritable. And the only way that I know to do this is called exposure therapy. And exposure therapy is a concept that when you, in incremental stages, expose the child to the very thing that typically irritates them and make it game, like a game of gamification. When you gamify it, you allow the student to practice patience. And maybe you've heard this phrase, the battle's won before it's fought in the preparation phase. That is so true. The battle is won before it's fought in the preparation phase. Prepare your child by exposing your child to the very thing that typically irritates them. And when you do that, you help them demonstrate mental toughness. And I reward kids when you do it. Okay, I'm gonna let your brother annoy you for 30 seconds. Now I try to do it 60 seconds and reward them. Give them that ice cream bar. Give them something that they want. Maybe a little extra time on the video games. Make them earn their privileges by exposing them to things that typically frustrate them so they can realize, dang, I could actually manage this without a problem. We do have callers calling in. I appreciate that. Grown-ups can call. Kids can call. Your dog can call. I don't know. This first caller is a guy named Joseph. Handsome dude. How you doing, Joseph?
Hey, brother. How you doing, Brooks?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abilene, actually.
Abilene,
Mm.
Texas. Yes, there's a university
Yes,
there. Yeah.
yes. And yeah, we actually have some history. You might remember me from high school.
You're my high school friend.
Yes.
It's awesome. Well, I probably look different. Samuel Clemens,
No,
class of
don't we all?
'99.
No, you still.
If you that was our little gang sign, class of '99, if you
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah. I don't know if I can do it now. My hands are not as coordinated as they used to be.
So did you go in the military
But
like most of our other peers, or what took you to Abilene?
yes, actually, I was in the army for about 9 years. I got out in 2011, And then now currently I'm up here as a worship leader for Belonging Church and also a student leader. So
Man, that's
I
awesome.
get to yeah, I
Are
get
you
to
doing worship? Okay, let's see if you're any good here. Hold on one second. I gotta.
uh, oh boy, put me on the spot here.
Can you go do 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 do? Can you hit that note?
I don't know. Well, I just had my morning coffee. I don't know. I tried to
Come on,
do
worship
la la
leader.
la
Just
la
go.
la 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 la.
Ooh. There you go. There you go. Now do this with me. Say, I could sing of your love forever. Sing it.
I could sing of your love forever.
All right, we'll try this. I could sing of your love
Your
forever.
love forever.
That's awesome. Well done.
I
That
could
was the
sing
key.
of your love. Yeah,
Well, what's
yeah,
going on?
that's
What do you want to
awesome,
talk to
dude.
me about today?
Well, I'm also a student leader for the boys in our student group right now, and right now we're just uh, we got a couple of the young ladies that are kind of dealing with relationships with there's some dating relationships going on in there, so it's just kind of like what would kind of be an encouraging thing to kind of share with the boys about dealing with relationships and how to go about that and how to be like the good men of faith that they need to be. I
Hmm.
guess what would be something I could share with them, I guess.
Well, I think since you're in the context of a church environment, a youth group, scripture would be appropriate. And in the Song of
Yes.
Solomon, a great book about love and romance, it says, "Do not awaken love until it is yet ready." It says that three times.
Yeah.
And it actually says, "I implore you, I beg you." And what does that mean? It means that we could prematurely awaken love. It is possible to awaken the feelings of desire and passion when we're not ready. And when would we be ready? That would be a good question. When would we be ready? And of course, the students would say, I don't know,
Right.
when I'm in high school, seventh grade, sixth grade, something like that. And it's like, well, the
Oh yes,
natural
yes.
progression of a relationship is to ultimately lead to consummation or, you know, relationships. A lot of kids are watching this. I got to be careful with how I say it. Uh, but what I
Yes,
will
yes.
say is, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby in the baby
In the
carriage.
baby carriage. Yes, that's right.
Sucking his thumb, wetting his pants, trying to do the boogie dance. Now, that means since there's a natural speed or progression to that baby in the baby carriage, then probably the most appropriate time to awaken love would be when you're ready to take on a baby in the baby carriage. And that would be,
Yeah.
you know, when you have a job, when your education is finished, or at least when you could provide for a family. And I think one of the greatest truths we can give them is in Song of Solomon: "Do not awaken love." The second thing is, by the way, I know it's really glitchy, right? I got a lot of programs going on. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Oh yeah, I can hear you really good. Yeah.
Okay. I got Corona here. Do you see my
Yeah, I think
Corona
it just
guy? Hey, this is slowing down my
yeah,
computer.
that was really awesome. Oh boy, yeah.
I'm a goof.
That whole clone.
I'm gonna have to find another computer to do that on because it's crashing the bit crunches. But remember, Adam was asleep, and God brought a wife to him, and it says, "A man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife." So he leaves the mom and dad and cleaves to his wife. So you can never get better than the Bible in the context of a church.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so communicate them. The other thing you can do is juxtapose the mistakes a bunch of other people have made in their younger years, and have them share their stories of how they foolishly gave pieces of their heart away to people when they really shouldn't have. So go
Okay.
back to the book. Does that make
Definitely.
sense, Joseph?
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Cool. You got a yapper.
All right. Yeah, well, I got my little puppy dog here, and she's the neighbors. I'm in my apartment right now. The neighbors are getting an apartment ready so she can hear them. Just
All
kind of
right.
letting them know who the boss is, I guess.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks for calling, dude, and I'm just so proud of you.
Yes.
What are you doing to reach the youth while you're quarantined?
Well, we actually every week, our student pastor, we zoom in on them to them every week, so we're able to communicate with them through Zoom, which is why I'm so thankful for that
Yeah.
technology. We're able to do that, and so we're able to keep up with them. And we also all of the student leaders we'll text and we'll kind of just keep up with them. I actually had one of my students. Well, I work at a Chick-fil-A here in town, so I got to do
Mm-hmm.
delivery this weekend, and so one of the deliveries was to their house, and I got to see them and check on them and see how they're doing. So that was really nice.
Joseph,
So we're just trying to keep in touch with them as much as we can.
you remember me in high school, right?
Oh yes, of course.
So,
In
do you
fact,
remember
you're
what
actually my
organization?
inspiration.
Oh, well, thank you, Joseph. Do you remember what organization, what I was in charge of? Every Wednesday morning, I'd make an announcement. Hey, 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 it's
FCA
FCA
Wednesday.
Wednesday. You remember
I
it?
still to this day I still to this day like recall that. It's like sometimes I wake up on Wednesdays and say that.
Man, it's been 20 years. But I was on fire
Oh
for
my
God then, and I'm still on fire for God. Although a lot of my work, I don't say anything about God in public schools, I don't talk about my faith. But
yeah.
whenever I am asked, I love to open up about my love for Jesus. And I've been true since high
Yes.
school, and you remember that. Well, that's cool,
Oh
man.
yeah, man. I tell you that was one of the things that led me to do what I'm doing today. So so
Wow.
thank
Well,
you,
that is really
man. I
cool.
appreciate.
Well, my pleasure. It's fun to be useful. Well, Joseph, I got to take another call, buddy.
All right, bro. You take care and be blessed and happy to see
All
that
right.
you're still living out your passions.
Yes, and you too, man. I closed on Sunday. You my
Oh
Chick-fil-A.
yes, Chick-fil-A, my number one
I
for
like that album.
lemonade.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, peace out, brother.
All right, blessings, man.
Blessings to you. We've got Laurel. Where are you calling from, Laurel?
I'm calling from Iowa.
Iowa. Thank you for calling me. What a treat to chat with you.
Thank
What's on
you.
your mind?
Well, I'm a school counselor, kindergarten through sixth grade, and we have loved Brooks Gibbs and sharing your message. Yeah, um, we got the game, and the kids love Squabble, so
Cool.
I give a shout out for that. I think everybody needs to get one of those
Yep,
for
you can
their
get it at Amazon. Squabbles is a
yeah.
card game for conflict resolution. We just played that last night with my family. Very cool. By the way, counselors are my favorite people on earth. You have seemingly an impossible job to maintain the mental health and happiness of the school environment, and there's just one of you, and you probably have what, 500 in your school?
I only have 450 under my
Oh,
little umbrella. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
that's a lot.
everybody has a different range of students, and we work together, working with teachers to try to, meet the needs of students. Um, I guess my question for you, I don't, I'm not sure if I have a question. I just really wanted to thank you for your work. Um, I love
Well,
it.
I've
Um,
thank you. What
yeah,
if you remember? I teach. I asked a counselor one time. I said, "What is the greatest thing you've learned from me from my latest content, which is from Squabbles, which is sort of my fresh, new, and improved content that I've been working on for a long time?" And he said, the three questions to help a child move across the emoji meter from mad to sad to met to glad. There's three questions, and he says he uses those every day. And the first question is, how could it be worse? Second question is, why won't this matter in your future? And the third question is, how could this be a good thing? And I suppose my question for you is, do you find yourself trying to raise the mood or the mental state when a kid is really down? What are ways that you try to help change their perspective to help them feel better? Clearly, you have compassion. Clearly, you have empathy. You seem like a wonderful counselor. But what are the cognitive, behavioral type exercises that you use to help a child calm?
I think one of the things we talk about is that the whole thing of control is you can't control anybody else except for yourself. And so there's going to be people in this world that are going to be mean, that are going to be cruel. I'm glad that you really define what bullying is, because a lot of kids, they'll come in and somebody's bullied them, and I'll ask them, well, tell me about that. And they'll say, well, they stuck their tongue out at me during class today. And I'll say, is that happening a lot? Or no, just today. And I'm like, well, that person's feeling mean today, right? And so we talk a lot about the difference between rude behavior, mean behavior, and bullying. And but we talk about you don't have any control over anybody else, but you have control over how you're going to react to that person, how you're
Mm-hmm.
going to either engage with them or not. And so we practice it, we role play. I tell them, tell me what's happening to you, and then you be that person and I'll be you. And I'll try to give you some ideas. Um, so the thing I usually like to do best that really kind of lightens the mood is they'll say, I don't know what to do. They're so distraught that they're not really sure what to do about this kid who's bugging them. And so I usually say, well, do you have any ideas? And they'll say, no, I don't. I just don't know what to do, Mrs. K. And I'll say, okay, well, I think you should go and punch him in the face. And they'll say, you mean we can do that? And I'll say, well, you could, but what would happen if you did that? So we start to look at, there's all kinds of options out there, but let's try to pick one that really is going to benefit you and not make you look like the mean guy
Right.
or mean girl. So it's kind of fun. It lightens their mood. And I'll say, and then when I say, well, if you don't think that'll work, what do you think would work? And then they start to come up with ideas of things that they could do. Um, and that seems to really work. Just giving them some example of the worst possible solution. And they'll say, but I didn't think we could hit somebody. I'm like, well, no, we really shouldn't. And that might get you a trip to the principal's office. So maybe that is a bad idea. And then I'll say, what do you think would be a better idea? And then we get to talking. But
Y'all,
talking,
this is the role of a counselor, and this is why they're invaluable in a school setting. The five core competencies of the Collaborative for Academic Social Emotional Learning are emotional awareness. This is how I feel. Emotional management. I can control how I feel. Relationship skills. Others awareness, just understanding how they feel and messages of empathy and stuff. But then the fifth is what you're talking about right now, responsible decision making, and really considering the consequences to a particular action. And so you, Laurel, provide what I would call an external brain, or I like to really use this term, cognitive dialysis, where you take thoughts from a child, you put it in your brain, you filter it, that's where the dialysis comes from, and you remove the negative particles and you refill the child with a new thought, and a healthy thought, a thought that doesn't have negative consequences, and just taking the time to talk. A parent can do that. Counselors are masters at this. You're a real hero of mine. You're my favorite type of person, and I'm counselors some of their favorite people, which is kind of cool. And so if I keep up what I'm doing and you keep up what you're doing, we're going to keep helping lots of kids, no doubt about it.
well, I'm going to be helping kids in a different way because I decided to take an early retirement from being a school
Wow.
counselor. So it came to a screeching halt. not the
Yes.
way I expected. I kind of feel like this isn't the way it was supposed to end. But
Right.
okay, again, what
But
do
it
I have
ended
control
with a
over?
bang, an unforgettable,
Yeah.
bizarre
So it's
end.
ending, yeah, it's ending giving me the opportunity to reach kids in a different way. We do
And
Google
how,
Meet.
okay, I was going to say, how are you going to do that? I mean, you have
Well,
this wealth of information that would be wrong to not share, at least with other counselors, right? And with other students.
yeah.
So, how are you going to continue to invest?
Well, right now during the quarantine until the end of the school year, while I'm still able to connect to students, we're using Google Meet as our primary video chat type of um, tool.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun. I had a group of students and we decided to do some sharing, and we were trying to figure out who was going to go first in our virtual fun ball that we were playing with. And so I said, okay, we'll do rock, paper, scissors. And they said, well, how can we do rock, paper, scissors? And I said, well, you can see your friend on the screen right now. You two go against each other, and then the winner is going to go against the winner of you two. And we figured it out. And they said, we can still play rock, paper, scissors. And I said, sure, you can. So it was just change your mindset, how you're looking at things.
Yeah,
So I
I
guess
love
that's
that.
the thing. Yeah.
And so, when you meet with them, you still share these wonderful practical skills. And we don't know what the future holds, but
No.
we do know that when the students are ready, the teacher appears. And as you are looking for hungry, teachable students, you're going to, like I do, you're going to pour into them as they come your way. Well, I encourage you to, I encourage you to do more of this, like just little sample videos. Even if you stay connected with me, put your email in the little chat room that we have here, because I want to kind of bring you in, maybe if you have a little more time, to our little team, and maybe you could help as I communicate to my growing constituency tips and tricks on how to communicate with the child and help them with their social and emotional problems. You'd be a great resource. If you wouldn't mind running with me for a little while, that'd be a fun thing.
Hey, I don't keep up with a fast runner, so if you can run slowly, I'll run with you.
Hey, one little bit of help a month maybe from you, right? Whether it's a little
Super.
blog or maybe a little, I'd love to push that out to my following. So put your email, if
That'd
you
be
don't
great.
mind, in the little chat
I
room.
will do
Cool?
that. Nice talking to you, Gibbs.
Yes. That's Laurel from
Brooks.
Iowa, Brooks Gibbs. That's right. Don't forget it. Now, guys, if you want to be calling me, you certainly can. It's simply dial this number, which is not a number. I know. I'm just so used to it. You got to go to this browser. It's brooksgibbslive.com. Brooksgibbslive.com. And just like Laurel, and just like Joseph, and my next caller, which is Ulysses, all they do is they go to the little browser and they put in brooksgibbslive.com, and then somehow the software uses your little camera, and it connects into my studio. If you have an iPhone, you do have to download an app called Stage 10. It's really simple. But on Androids and laptops, it's a very simple way to connect with me. So simply dial Brooks Gibbs or go to brooksgibbslive.com. Now I've got Ulysses coming. I don't know where he's calling from. Ulysses, welcome to the Brooks Gibbs Live show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine, thanks.
Where are
I'm
you from?
from Brazil. Brazil.
Brazil. Oi, tudo
Yeah.
bem? Bem obrigado.
You know how to talk.
Not really.
Portuguese.
Not
Very
really.
nice, good.
You have some of the most beautiful people on the planet. I love Brazilians. They're so full of life and they're incredibly social. How is your country adjusting? Are you guys also sort of in a quarantine season, or is life normal for you?
No, no normal. We are in quarantine. We are working from home office, and all the company is working like this. Thankfully, God has allowed us to just work from home and not to lose the job. But there are companies which are having no choice, but uh, sending their workers, getting them off, like firing them. They are firing them,
Wow.
and thankfully, the company I work for has not done this. The owner of the company is doing his best to keep us there, but we need the government help because if things keep how they are, Brazil is going to break very soon. It's a complicated situation.
Man, and every older person I speak with tells me they've never experienced anything like this in their lifetime. And
Yeah.
it is unfathomable. My only hope is that we can have wisdom enter government systems, like in, oh, what is that great country? I think it's like Sweden. From what I understand, Sweden has agreed to continue to let their people go to work. Most of the children in Sweden are still going to school. They're protecting their most vulnerable population, those with preconditions, and the elderly population to stay in. But this concept of herd immunity is a brilliant concept. It is how nature has learned to fight these viruses naturally. Now, smart people 100 years ago came up with vaccines, which is the same concept of herd immunity. It's to give yourself the disease so that you develop the antibodies to be immune to it. And so once we can it takes 18 to 24 months from what I'm researching to get the vaccines distributed around the world. But we cannot take another month. I heard maybe June at the latest is what a society like ours or Brazil could take before what? No one has money to eat. I mean, there's no taxes to pay the government, and we're printing funds, and the dollar's ruined. This is definitely a season to panic. How are you not panicking? How are you staying calm?
Well, like you, I'm a Christian, and I have faith in God. And well, I don't agree with that too much turmoil they are doing. People are acting like this virus is the worst virus have ever came to Earth, and
Right.
they are showing numbers, but they keep trying to make us think. The media is trying to make us think that the numbers are very high, but they don't show the numbers for other diseases, and they are just focusing on just one disease, that is the coronavirus, COVID-19, but they don't compare it with other things. It's like in my profession, I'm a programmer, computer programmer. We call this a medical number. Like it's just a number. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. You have to put that number in some kind of context, so that you have a context in which that to work with that number. For example, if you compare it with the cases of common, I forgot how's the word here, but
Influenza,
common,
the
yeah,
flu.
yeah, the flu, yeah, that's the right. If you compare it, we don't know, the authorities don't show us how many people die by just a common flu. We don't know. We don't have how to say if coronavirus is so bad as they tell it is. If we can't compare it with some other thing, we just have big numbers, but we don't know them in context. So I don't worry too much about these things, even because we know that the main media uh, is not usually don't share real information. They try to manipulate the information, and since there is too much pressure above this, I'm just waiting for what will happen. I like the position of our government, the president, the Bolsonaro, Jair Bolsonaro. He's doing a good job, but there are many. The opposition is working against him as usually.
Yeah.
But we hope it will, in the end, will at least keep working and just treat the elderly and people which are more vulnerable to the virus. But
Hmm.
the strong population, we can keep working.
Yeah,
We can, either way, or we will get infected by the virus now, or from 2 months from now. But
that's
it's
right.
better for us to keep working and having money to eat and to make basic things and keep on life. Then we go afraid of the virus. If we think the virus is a bully, for example,
Hmm.
it's better for us to confront it than to just back off. That's my
I
opinion.
agree. Well, thank you for sharing that. And before we move on to more of a topic in my realm of expertise, I just want to encourage those watching, have these conversations with your kids. Ask them very simple questions. You know, I got a lot of parents that watch me, and just this morning on our morning walk, which we're taking a ton of lately, my son was asking all kinds of questions. Will this be forever? If we're going to get it anyways in 2, 3 months because of the second wave in the fall, why don't we just get it now? Why do we have to destroy the economy? 4 houses down from me, a guy lost his job. He's out of work. He has to completely change his industry. He was in the restaurant business. 10 million in America have, in the last week, have filed for unemployment. It is tragic. And what kids don't want to talk about this? We think sheltering our children from this type of conversation is the right move, but it is the wrong move. This is how they learn. Let them hear. Let them have ethical challenges. Let them think, what's the cost? If you shut down society to save one life, what is the consequences of shutting down the society? Suicides, of course, raise. People lose their jobs, stresses, marriages and divorce. It is either way going to be consequential, and we have to face this head on. Your
Yeah.
your English is excellent, and
Thank
I certainly share your same worldview. By the way, if you want to talk to me, brookskipslive.com is where you go. So Ulysses, what was your question for me? I know you called sort of for a different reason.
Yeah, I I like your job. I think it's a noble job you do, like helping people to overcome bullies. Because in my lifetime, I have faced many bullies since childhood, and even from family and mainly in jobs. And I've have to left some companies because I didn't couldn't stand for couldn't it was very badly bullying, and some of them were even owners, directors, high managers, and I had a very long path from trying to deal with these people, and I learned a lot through the that path in my lifetime. But your videos, your media on the internet, your work have helped me to see some things I could do to help it is happening in many people. I think I'm sure of that. And and now, last year, in the end of last year, I finally came to an understanding of how one of the bullies in my work, why he behaved the way he did, and how I could finally deal with him. I saw it was merely or just some kind of he was trying
Power.
to destroy my reputation, my view. He was trying to make people view me in a bad light, while he making the people think he was a very social person and things like that. And and I saw he kind of treats me badly in private. He bullies me in the absence of other people, of important people. He just uh, scans his environment. He looks, oh, the boss is not here. There is no one important here, so I can bully him. And now I understand it. I didn't
Hmm.
understand this before. But when the boss is around, he is a very sweet person, like very hypocrisy. Uh,
Right. Hypocrite.
And finally, I understood that the way I should treat with him, the right way was uh, when when the boss is around, and or when there are people he cares about, when these people are around, because he doesn't want to lose his reputation. He wants to be seen as a good person besides the people he cares about. He thinks he will need them to go high in his life.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it just things like this, and I finally, thanks God, I finally understood this, and I would like to know your opinion on how, for example, is it how it is to start a job like yours, for example, since I'm here from Brazil, I would start this, of course, in Portuguese, and to help people and to show them how to be more social and how to be less vulnerable to this kind of people. And I think to starting a blog, for example, and sharing my information there, and maybe even writing a book, who knows. But I just know that this is very bad. I almost got depressed in the last previous job, but now I'm dealing better with these people after too much time. And I would like to know your opinion if it's difficult, what we have to deal with to start some kind of work in which we can help other people like you are doing to have better experiences in life in the
Yeah.
workplace,
I,
things like
I
that.
I agree, and I think you could be a voice of encouragement, bringing practical conflict resolution skills to the workplace. I deal with the schools, and in the United States of America, it is very common for a school to hire a consultant or a public speaker to come and address the entire student body. I know the same is in Australia, not so much in the United Kingdom. I really don't know about Mexico or let's say Brazil or any South America. I know conferences are throughout South America, but I don't know about motivational speakers. Let me just ask you: are there speakers that do school-wide assemblies?
Well, I don't know. I've never heard about them, but I know there are motivational speakers. Motivational speakers,
Oh, for
but
sure.
yeah, but not on the line of bullying. I don't know. I've never heard about
What
here
do you
in
call
Brazil.
it in Portuguese? Bullying. What is the word that you guys use?
There's no translation. It's just bullying.
Yeah. So you use an
We
English
use the
term.
same here. Yes.
Yeah. So, and it's new, right? You didn't hear about it 20 years ago. You never knew the word bully, right?
Mm, uh, I think it's no. It's no. In Google, even
Yeah.
in Google, if we search for the term, we see it has started to increase fast in the last 20 years.
Right.
Like,
You know, my opinion is there's no need for the word. Uh, uh, we really, it doesn't give me any description. But here's what I want to say. The problems on the schoolyard are the same as the problems in the workplace. They're people
sure,
problems. And the
sure.
laws that govern the people problems are the same, the laws that govern the people problems at work. And so as you continue to consume my content, you listen to my seminars, you know, engage in the training that I have at squabbles.com, you're going to be able to learn so much. Soon this year, we're going to have a certification program, probably in the summertime, for those that want to go through my 2-day seminar in depth with interaction where we answer questions. We're going to have that and actually certify you as Squabbles certified. And my vision for that is for people all over the world to take their Squabble certification, their knowledge, and share it in any context that they find themselves in, at work, at home, at school, at their place of worship. And so, with your sad situation of having a coworker who loved to psychologically dominate you, you call it bullying, who loved to emotionally torture you, keep you scared, feeling weak and inferior, and yet hypocritically changed his tune when he was around coworkers or his superiors, that is a wonderful opportunity for you to share your story and how you learned to protect your heart so you were not so emotionally affected by it, and learn how to manage that guy. You know, one
Yeah.
thing that you asked me, Ulysses, in the comments here in our private chat room here, is you said, I would love to teach people about overcoming their social difficulties, dealing with bullies, dealing with narcissists, and dealing with sociopaths and so on. Now, narcissism is a personality disorder. Sociopathy, or antisocial behavior is what it's called now, is in the DSM-5 of a personality disorder. And that's less than 1% of the population are sociopathic. I don't know what the percentage of narcissism is, probably closer to 10-15%, I would guess. But less than 1% are sociopath. And so if you're going to be a teacher or trainer about social difficulties, you have to stay away from labels like narcissism and sociopathy. That belongs in the psychiatry world, and we don't want to label people when we don't have the credentials to actually label them. And I know you wouldn't do that. But what we can say is there are 3 reasons why people are trying to, or are mean to you. Number 1, they're trying to bother you. This is what the guy in your office was doing, trying to psychologically dominate you, trying to make you feel like a loser. And so he was trying to find anything he could to throw in your face that you would be scared to come to work. Or number 2, they're joking, and maybe the joke is a little cross the line of appropriateness. Or number 3, they're hurting. They're afraid of you, or they're upset with you because you did or said something, so they're just vindictive and trying to retaliate. Now, that's beautiful. That's what the Squabbles framework is all about. It's about identifying why, what are the 3 reasons why people are mean. Oh, that's weird. Let me try a red one. There you go. You got 3 emojis. They're trying to bother you, that's the red one. Joke with you, that's the yellow one. Or they're hurt by you, that's the blue one. And that's what Squabbles does. It teaches people the laws that govern conflict and teaches us the solution or the resolution to resolve that conflict. So how do you do that professionally? Ulysses, I would just say you become certified. Like I said, we'll do that this summer. And then you put together a website, and a blog is fine. Videos are better, but a blog is fine. Videos are just more shareable. And you start regurgitating or resharing everything that you hear from the people that you are learning from, and you infuse your own story and your own personality. And once you have a good website, you have something that says work with me, and you click on work with me, and it says come in as a consultant to train your staff, come in as a consultant to work with your HR department, and or if you want to enter the school system, talk to counselors, do full school assemblies. You have to start. And the last thing I'll say about this is with my friend Josh, we created a online training program called youthspeaker.university. I don't know if you know this, but well, you do, you're a programmer. There's not just .coms, .orgs, there's now extra URLs. And so youthspeaker.university is the website that I send people who want to do this professionally to the youth market, not the corporate, but the youth market. And we teach you how to do that at that school.
Nice. Very interesting. So you have a course like this, and you certificate people to work on this framework. How it's called? Stambles.
Yeah, squabbles.com.
Squabbles. It's yours?
SQU. Yeah. It's mine. Squabbles. SQUABBLES. I'll type it right here. In the I've got this ability to type something here. All right, I'm going to put it on the lower third. Do you see that? Not yet. Why isn't it showing up?
Squabbles framework.
No, it's just called Squabbles.
Squabbles.com. Your game plan for aggression.
Yeah, there you go.
I found it. Thanks.
Okay, cool. I don't know why I can't share it. That is so weird. Anyways, this summer, if put your name and email and get on my email list, and we're going to alert when we've got our program certification program live and
Okay.
ready to go.
Okay.
You know, I guarantee you that there are corporate speaking training programs in Portuguese in Brazil. So learning how to sell your services to the corporate market, that's readily available. I would just ask your friends, search online. But once you get a gig, what are you going to say? That's where squabbles.com, that's where we certify you to teach this stuff in your context. So I'm very
Okay.
proud of you, man. You're pivoting. You see the industry changing. You've got my same optimistic perspective. You've got a strong faith in God that this is not a surprise to God, but something in you
Yes.
wants to share your experience with others, and I really admire you for that. So well done, Ulysses.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for your job. You have helped me and are helping very other
Wow.
people. I hope you keep on the job very
I
very
will.
long time.
Oh, dude, like the fact that my 5 months of speaking engagements have been canceled. That's the problem with this industry, is that if they do this again, I'm not going to be able to speak. But look at the internet. I'm more alive now than ever, reaching more people than ever because of our online videos. And so I will keep this up, and I'll be more online than ever before.
Okay. Thank you, Brooks Gibbs.
Yeah,
I
you got it.
Bye.
God bless you, buddy.
God bless.
Well, that was so